5 milligram Percocet, and you're like, this is heaven sent. This is like, you know, I always said it was like God tucking you into bed. It just felt so good and warm. And then cut to a year later when you're spending $2,000 a week and you're like watching out your window for your dealer to show up. It's like, it's not so heaven sent anymore. So yeah, you really got to watch out for that kind of thing. That's what I would impart to you and my new daughter here, Eleanor. I certainly did.
Thank you.
Did you
So
name her
that's
after
the project
Eleanor
that
Lamb
Bryan's
of
working.
BioShock? Oh, okay.
So say no to drugs is what
Say
you're
no
saying.
to drugs.
Okay.
Yes, it's
Okay.
that
Thank you,
simple.
Bryan Johnson. Everybody.
It's that simple.
Over to you.
Alrighty, sir. Seeing about a dozen customers come into your guys' store, don't really see any disappointing ones. Has there ever been a difficult customer you guys ever had to deal with?
I'm a typical customer.
Yeah.
Come spend a week with me.
Like how would you guys?
14 times a day. There was some guy, this is my favorite story, of the past month. So this guy comes in and he comes in, he starts busting my balls like just about everything, like, oh, I sell comic sucks. I'm like, yeah, thanks, I appreciate that. So he comes up and he didn't come up. He was listening in the background, and this other gentleman comes up and says, hi, I want to buy Cryptozoic Man. Would you mind signing it for me? And so I sign it, and he goes off, and then the guy comes up and says, did you make him sign or did you force your signature onto his book, like Ming does all the time? And I'm like, dude, that's not funny for a bunch of reasons, because just because Ming double signs books, he's enthusiastic, so. And not only that, I mean, I can bust his balls, but you can't. You haven't earned that right. So, and he's like, dude, I was only kidding. Jesus, you're as thin-skinned as Johnson said. And that's when I'm like, I said, you know what, dude, he had his daughter there, like an 8-year-old daughter. I said, you know what, I'm gonna ask you to leave because you're really reinforcing some bad behavior to your child. And not that I really gave a rat's ass, but it was a great excuse to get him the hell out of the store. And he wasn't going to buy anything anyway, so it's like, just take off.
So in short, come to the stash where it's always a good time.
Hell yes. So do we get difficult people? Absolutely.
Did you say disappointing or difficult?
Well, both actually.
You want
everybody as well.
disappointing people too?
Yes.
You got one
Dude
of those?
didn't drop any money either. What a...
Just right in and out, correct?
I'm telling you.
See, I would think that your story for difficult would be the dude who comes in and uses the bathroom and he's an alcoholic and doesn't make it all the way and ends up on the floor. That sounds much more difficult than somebody saying like, "Ooh, your signature sucks."
Now I would have considered him to be a difficult client if.
And you didn't even throw him out. The guy pissed all over the floor.
Yeah, he didn't throw.
And you let him come back.
But I didn't have to clean it up, so I didn't give a crap.
That guy still comes in every week.
No, he doesn't come in every week because he's in a home. So, the dude's in a home, for God's sake. It wasn't my fault.
He wasn't always in a home.
I didn't commit him. It was his brother.
At the time he pissed on the floor, he was living with his mom in a trailer.
She died, and then he got committed.
So in all fairness, yeah, that guy would appear to be more difficult, I think. But that's just me.
Yeah, but I got a soft spot in my heart. And that dude dropped money, so there you go. Cashed his welfare check, went to the booze store, and came to us.
I think my favorite stories of either disappointment or difficult is every May, the first Saturday of every May is something called Free Comic Book Day. And if you know or seen Walt Flanagan on the TV show, he hates giving anything away for free.
Yeah. What did he refer to the people as? Was it roaches?
Roaches, yeah.
I think
roaches come out for the free cheese.
I thought it was rats coming out for the free cheese.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Walt's big problem with Free Comic Book Day is like, 'cause they're very inexpensive, the comics. They're like 10 cents a piece or something to the retailer. And you know, it's an incentive to get people to come into a brick and mortar, which doesn't happen nearly as often anymore. And Walt's problem is that like 99% of the people who come in are parents with their kids who are like, take the free comics and let's go. And then like while they're there, the kids are crunching up, you know, toys and just causing general mayhem. And it doesn't really result in any spike in sales. So Walt's like, get out.
Probably cowering in back and everybody else is in front.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, that's why Walt's not a
I'm going to tell him you said that.
book day. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Over to you.
Hey, what's up, guys? Big TSD fan. You guys already touched on it a little bit. I just want to see if you guys are already coming up with good ideas for the 1 True 3 tournament. I'm like super excited. Especially you, Ming, because I know you shit the bed the first time.
Yeah, but I redeem myself every other time afterwards. I think Walt's big thing for something like this, if you're telling people stories that you've never told anybody before, is like he wants bombshells.
Yeah.
He wants people to drop bombshells. I got bombshells.
All right.
That's a good bombshells.
If you haven't listened to the podcast, and you should, on Tell 'em Steve Dave, we have a game called 1 True 3 where somebody, you know, say Ming, will tell a round table 3 things, and 2 of them are lies, 1 is true, and the people have to guess, you know, which one is true. And we're having a tournament where it's like 8 people, right?
Yeah.
It's probably 8 people, and the prizes that have come in, and we're not even allowed to name some of the companies. They're like, here, we're going to give you this stuff, but you can't name the company. It's really kind of insane. Like some of like the bigger companies that send
like
stuff
these
in.
are like big name companies.
Yeah, so it'll be a fun tournament. As far as coming up with any good stuff, my problem is like I've talked so much over the years and told nearly everything that to come up with something that's true that I haven't already said, like I got to dig deep, you know. So to me that's a little bit of an issue. But I've come up with a couple good things that like I can use them on people like Sunday Jeff, who, you know, he never listens to the podcast and I don't know him as well, so I'll be able to trick him, you know. But somebody who like Ming or Mike who know me a little bit better, a little bit tougher to trick them.
All right, cool. Another thing real quick, status of Mallrats 2.
Kevin says the shooting soon.
It's in
right?
January 2016.
Yeah, when he was in Jersey just a couple days ago, he went to the set. I guess he took pictures, right?
Yeah.
And he put them on Instagram. So yeah, you never know with Kevin. He says he's going to do one thing, and then suddenly a totally different movie is being filmed. So, but I believe so. I believe January he's going to get started.
Cool. Thanks, guys, and thanks for